in questa scena sembra ci siano due cose che le appartengono non solo come attore ma anche come persona: l'amore per i cavalli, per andare a cavallo, ma anche per le lingue straniere. Lei per formazione ne conosce tante, nel senso che i suoi genitori erano dell'Europa del Nord, poi ha vissuto in America Latina. Qui proprio quando ho avuto a Pacino ha detto che il primo passo, diciamo, per l'attore è l'amore per le parole, amare le parole, no? E qui mi piacerebbe che parlasse, e volevo sapere anche la conferma di questa piccola curiosità da fan, se è vero, come è scritto, ho trovato scritto su internet, che lei ha acquistato i cavalli con cui ha lavorato nel suo inedito.
Anche questo cavallo.
Anche questo.
Buon attore, questo cavallo. Buonissimo. Molto intelligente. Veramente. He was really, I mean, kids and animals tend to be in the moment, but he was so there. In fact, a lot of the little things, the little tricks, you know, like falling down, being dead, and then staying down. The scene where he's trying to say, let's go, I don't like this North Africa, let's go back to Wyoming. And he grabbed my hat's hanging on a fence post, and he goes over, picks it up with his teeth, and brings it over and shakes it like some good hat on, let's go. And turns, you know, like, get on, let's go. And I said, no, it's too late, we have to do this race now. And the horse that they had trained to do all these things, especially for a long time, was fine, you know. But they said, you know, we really want to do this close-up, and he has a special look, and you guys are great together, and what are we going to do? And I said to Rex Peterson, the horse trainer, who also was the horse trainer on, and people trainer on riders on Appaloosa, I said, well, you know, he's been watching, he's smart, you know, and he's been watching this other horse do these things, and, you know, even though he looks bored, he's actually watching. Let him try. First date, boom. Second date, boom. Perfect. And actually did it a little more gently, with a little more style. So he did everything. It was great. And I do like horses. I grew up with horses, and it's a question. If you like something, you can learn easier. If you're comfortable around animals, they know it. If you like words, you like languages, you're interested, you're going to learn them more quickly, and you're going to retain what you learn. And, you know, I mean, languages, landscapes, as Dr. Seuss said, the places you will go, you know. I mean, you look at that landscape where the horse is released, which is in northern Montana, it's in Blackfeet territory near Browning, Montana, and the mountains in the distance are Glacier National Park. Spectacular scenery. And I got to travel a lot of as a child, which is part of why I speak different languages and so forth. But I've never lost that interest, and that's one of the things about these movies that they've been all over the place. And the places that we didn't shoot, I went to, that I could, you know, like this movie that you see now. You know, I didn't have to, but I went to Russia, and it was very helpful. There wasn't any specific thing. I mean, there were some objects, but it was mostly, go see what you see. I don't know what's going to happen. The main thing is to make a start. You know, you look at the script, or you look at something, and do this. You don't really know. You just start doing it. You get it in practice. I have the practice over years that I know that no matter how difficult it looks, we'll get there somehow. You know, I'll do something will happen, and hopefully I'll have something to react to what we do. And, something will happen, but I went to Russia, I didn't know what would happen. And the great thing about when I was there is that really nobody knew who I was at all. On the subway, in the metro, and walking in the street, in the towns. Not anybody, only one boy. The last day I was visiting there after a couple of weeks had that look, and I was like, oh, here we go. And it was as I was going out to this hotel I was in to get on a plane, and I was in Yekaterinburg, which is in the middle of the country. There's characters, I figured, was from. And boys sort of slowly, sort of like sleepwalking towards me, and his parents didn't notice. And he said, with a Russian accent, that's something, by the way, that all you hear. And I meet people, interesting people, and one of the most interesting things is people will relate to a particular movie or a particular moment in a movie for some personal reason that has to do with their lives or something that happened to someone they know, something that happened in their country. It can be a very specific thing that I would have never thought of, and I would have never looked at the scene that way. And it's interesting, it's a conversation after all that we're having, and it's interesting to have conversations.
Anche una curiosità, è vero come ho detto che tu sei imparentato molto con un'isola molto lontana, no?
It's kind of a tall tale. I am related to Buffalo Bill. I'm also related to, have you ever heard of Johnny Appleseed? His real name was John Chapman, and he was a little odd. He did missionary work on his own. Often he liked, as I do, to go without shoes, and he would wander around in what was the wild frontier at the time, was Ohio area. That was the limits, of civilization. And unlike other white people, the Indians liked him quite a bit because he seemed like a child almost. He did have a sack with apple seeds. He knew a lot about apples, and he planted a lot of apple trees, a lot of orchards that exist in the Midwest that have the roots literally in his work. And he would go trying to talk about Jesus to Indians, and anybody would listen, and he would come back, and he would plant trees, and he was a very interesting character. Anyway, his name was John Chaplin, related to Buffalo Bill, and it was very interesting in the movie Hidalgo to play a scene with Buffalo Bill. And I told the actor, I gave him books I had about him, and I told him about that. And he did a great job, I thought, and it was fun. It was like, life is very strange. Life is very strange, but interesting.
Ok, andiamo alla prossima clip.